Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to another TEW2020 video. You join us for my first time in months on the AEW save, and I'm really looking forward to it. I've had my wee break from it because I like backdating episodes, so the booking is a bit more fluid. So a lot has changed in the context of AEW since I've done my last episode, even though you only saw it a few days ago. A lot has changed, a lot of unexpected arrivals to AEW, and no doubt there'll probably be more by the time that I actually put this out. So there may be some outdated references over time. But I view this, the 1st of June, in-game, as basically like a new season, basically, because whilst we are on the run to All Out, obviously with a few summer events between then, it is 2 years in-game since we officially started the save, so I'm still that way. I think Tony Khan views Double or Nothing as the WrestleMania, but to be honest, I just make sure that Double or Nothing and All Out are just the mega pay-per-views, so we have to ensure that those and Full Gear and Revolution get the best ratings possible. So the good thing is when you always take these kind of breaks, you come back with some fresh ideas. The negative is you're a bit out of the loop of what you booked previously, because it has been probably 3 or 4 months, but yeah, looking forward to this one. Look, I like the idea of what we've booked on the show today. I think we're looking at about 16 segments and 6 pre-show matches. Again, utilising the pre-show as a darker elevation because I just find it easier to book because you don't want to double book people that would have been on Dynamite and then you end up with people out of the action. And of course, I'm still booking AEW heels to help develop our women. So without further ado, let's crack on with this week's AEW Wednesday night Dynamite. So we're in front of 14,069 fans at the Williams Arena, and we'll quickly blast through our pre-show matches of the evening. So the Dark Order's Priscilla Kelly defeated Tasha Steelz in 5:55 by pinfall. This was a 45. We had Daria Beranato making her in-ring debut. Of course, she debuted at Double or Nothing, and she took on Kiera Hogan, and she wins in 6:48 with a modified Gogoplata. Just a 40 for this one. Unfortunately, Kiera Hogan adds to her injury list, which is ever growing, which is still mad because of how big her roster is. But she now has some chronic knee pain, so she'll be able to fight, but her matches will be hindered by that. Thanks for reminding us, Billy Gunn. Tag team action, we had the Dark Order's recruitment specialists, Sylvan and Reynolds, defeating Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela in 9:20 when Alex Reynolds submitted Sonny Kiss with a Reynolds wrap. This was a 41, not too bad there. Joey Janela, by far the best in-ring performance. We had Will Hobbs defeat Griff Garrison in 6:47 by pinfall, a 35. Both guys pretty level in terms of their in-ring performance. We had Claudio Castagnoli defeat Cody Vance in 9:15 with the neutralizer. This was a 53. Remember, 10 doesn't exist yet in this universe, neither does 5. And in the pre-show main event, we had Jungle Boy pick up a victory over Stu Grayson in 9:45 by submission. A 69, both guys putting some good performances in, with Jungle Boy taking the dub. Time for Dynamite, let's do it. So I started the show with a usual in-ring promo from Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega. So we started this one with basically Cody coming out and obviously being dismayed that he's lost the AEW World title to Kenny, and he says he's going to do anything he can to get it back. He says he's going to invoke a mandatory rematch clause whenever he can fit it in at the best time, and he's hoping that'll be in a few weeks' time. Kenny Omega says he's going to be a fighting champion, put on the best bouts. He knows those two went to war, and if they need to go to war again, Kenny will come out on top. But a lot more to build with this story as the show and the weeks develop. You'll see. Nearly free. Good for our best promo. We can put less emphasis on the match tonight, the main event. We started off with some trios action. It was a terrible match as the Uprising's Wardlow, Ricky Starks and Mark Quinn defeated Matt and Mike Sydal alongside Rey Mysterio in 12:06 when Wardlow pinned Mike Sydal with Splash Mountain. A 60. A kind of mixed level of performances there. Wardlow and Rey Mysterio were the best ones, but the Uprising basically have a good rebound from their defeat at the pay-per-view with a victory tonight. After that matchup, MJF alongside Wardlow, Ricky Starks and Mark Quinn cut a promo, and Boosted MJF says it wasn't a great night for the Uprising at Double or Nothing, but he's determined to get Jungle Boy out his hair, he's determined to get Chris Jericho out his hair, and it's just nothing's going to stop Uprising from rising to the top. So a 69 promo for them. We then had a little backstage confrontation where Garza Jr. says to Jungle Boy, "They call you the future of AEW. You're looking at the future here, Garza Jr. And I know in a couple of weeks' time you're going to have that big dinosaur Luchasaurus back. But Garza Jr. knows someone that's going to come and be in his corner. And we look forward to battling you guys." So a 67 is someone that's already, well, they've got their contract signed, they're just yet to debut. And they'll be alongside Garza Jr. in that programme. 67. Back to in-ring action, we had Kip Sabian against Prince Devitt. Decent matchup. Devitt picks up the win at 8:30 with a brainbuster, and this was a 87 performance from Devitt, and Kip Sabian was off his game. This led to Devitt, after the break, having a little confrontation, bumping into Pete Dunne, and yeah, Pete Dunne just swings for him and they start brawling with the security, trying to break them up. So a simple and effective angle, adding a bit more animosity here, so a 73. We then had a small promo with Shayna Baszler saying it's a shame that she is retired now from in-ring competition. Well, she has in a few weeks, but she's looking forward to how good Daria Bernato and Layla Hirsch are going to be in the future. She says these two ladies are going to be the future of the women's division and future women's tag team champions. So be on notice. And it was a 50 for them. Ed opted for a Dark Order hype-up segment where Brody Lee is rounding up the troops. And he just says it's great that him and Anna are still the mixed tag team champions, but it's time for the Dark Order to step up. Darby Allin got to the top and he decided to bail out. I trust everyone else in this area, in this group, that are not going to walk out on me, and they truly believe that Sir Brody Lee is the reason why their game is to a highest level. So every one of you start picking up wins as the Dark Order is going to take over this place. And that's a 53. We had some women's action again. It was a poor matchup that saw Mercedes Varnado defeat Evie in 8-11 by pinfall. A 66 and a simple victory here for the women's champion, of course, the head of the fashion empire. A few words from Mercedes after the matchup. She says she's just showcasing again how good she is. She's beaten Evie tonight. She's beaten Saraya, Double or Nothing. And it was a nice surprise from Bayley at popping up. But she just wants to remember that Bayley was always in her shadows. She's followed her here to AEW, and she's going to send her back to that other company whenever Bayley decides to step up to the plate. That was a 71 promo from Mercedes Varnado. Then I had a promo from Miro, the winner of the men's Casino Battle Royale, which will earn him a matchup with Hangman, alongside his manager Ric Flair. And Miro just says, just look at the dominance he had there. Look at the dominance that I'm going to inflict on this opponent just now, Hangman. When I get that opportunity, that TNT Championship is going to be mine. So the 85 promo was very strong. Match itself was poor, but Miro wins in 7:59 by submission over Eddie Dennis. 64 overall. It's just a case of making Miro look dominant before he faces Hangman down the line. Then stepped up a gear, we had some great wrestling and good heat, as the New Age Horsemen's AJ Styles and Ace Austin took on the Young Bucks and won in 13:57 when Ace Austin pinned Nick Jackson with a House of Cards following interference from Cody Rhodes. So Cody Rhodes helping two of his stablemates there as they pull off an impressive victory in a 77 rated matchup. Would have been a bit higher, but it was basically keeping Nick Jackson protected in order to put these two guys over. But I think you know where we're going. Next pay-per-view is Blood and Guts. Everything's lining up, but there are 77. More on that as the weeks unfold. Because backstage, Nick and Matt bump into Kenny, who's coming out to the ring. So he's like just at the gorilla. And they've bumped into Prince Devitt as well, because obviously Devitt's had issues with Pete Dunne, who's also in the New Age Horsemen. So we could look likely to see a confrontation between these four and they four. I've actually built up a story in one show. It's a miracle. But in 87, looking forward to how that unfolds over the next couple of weeks. Kenny's in action. He's in our main event. He's taking on one half of the tag team champions, Rey Fenix, in our main event. And I still want to try and get the 100 rated matchup, so I was obviously going to put a good matchup. I need to remember that we're at a peak of popularity in the US. I don't really need this to get much higher, so I can afford for us to lose a lot of pop in the US as long as we expand internationally. But it was an exceptional matchup. Kenny defeats Rey Fenix in 22:50 with a one-winged angel. So 91 there. Kenny, great matchup with Phoenix. And we finished the show, as I always tend to do, with Cody Rhodes beating the hell out of Kenny Omega and standing above him, looking at the AEW World Championship. So Kenny was a real star in this segment, an 87 overall. And that means the overall show rating's at 90. So even in the US, we will still gain pop, which is crazy. So I like the fact though we had a really good promo at the start with Kenny and Cody, and then Kenny's delivered again. So a lot of the show will be putting Kenny over. But we'll take a wee look anyway. I wanted to look and see if there was much gain of overness for Kenny Omega, because Rey Fenix is like ridiculously over. So that was fairly rapid. Big Trouble and Little ROH. Are they up for being bought? No. 13 million, they'll be absolutely fine. They'll be absolutely fine. Didn't even notice that there. Kira Hogan Hart we know about. Chronic nail pain. It'll take her a month, but she's not going to miss any events. And Heels was a poor show. Basically in Heels it was a case of it was all people that weren't particularly over, but I'm happy to give them that opportunity and with a few promos in between. So I'll probably just take the hit with that as WWE hire Pete Williams. Again, just in case you don't know, the pictures don't show up for anyone because these are all manually edited for another database that looked a bit nicer, a picture pack. Rey Mysterio is going to be identified as a drug tester. We can't suspend him. We can't even put him into rehab. So he's going to get fined with that. A small impact there. Unlucky, like Renee Paquette, Matt Riddle, who all had to go to rehab, and Eddie Kingston as well. So MJF says he likes what he hears from Pete Dunne. Mercedes Vernado has a fan in Christopher Daniels. 9,000 drug testing and a 3.58 TV rating, which of course will be nowhere near what we get for Lightning tomorrow night. But as I say, size-wise, we're like fine. It's just it's going to be a case of getting India and Oceania and Europe up, which I'm only really getting up with my other show with Lightning. But I'm more focused than this. Say they just basically try to get the stories over. So that is our first episode of Dynamite in the books. We'll now go ahead for some Lightning, and hopefully you'll join us for that in a few days' time. But thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. Wee thumbs up would be deeply appreciated. Any thoughts on the save? How you feel the new season will go as we head on the road to AEW Blood and Guts. Stay safe and see you soon. Bye bye.